Powered by Riverside FM.
Me. The sassy shepherd struggles with syphilis. The sassy shepherd struggles with syphilis. Syphilis. Ma. I would like an Arnold Palmer at the omelet parlor.
Gold or silver, hear us shout. That's what the Davy Awards are all about. 2 chances in every category. Either one's a victory. If it's gold, we'll celebrate. If it's silver, that's still great. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the cheers. Here's to laughs for many years.
Enjoy wasting your money? Do you dream of customer service that treats your problem like it's someone else's? Who hasn't? Have you ever thought, I'd love to wonder where my package actually ended up? Then Hit Volley might be the shopping experience for you. Features may include a package that doesn't arrive where you expected. At least, that was my experience. A customer service adventure where frustration is included at no extra charge. The exciting opportunity to become your own delivery investigator. Save yourself the headache. Shop literally anywhere else.
Welcome everybody to Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Choey.
Welcome, Jandler. I thought it was funny because we both were all.
Oh, with the drum? Yeah.
Yeah, at the end we're all.
I just realized. By the way, I don't know if you can hear it. I have teacher voice. If you remember, I talked about it last year.
Yeah,
you get this
hoarse.
Morning. Can you hear like my voice is it's
a little raspy.
It's kind of scratchy or whatever, right? And I know this morning I was just like, I hope I'm not getting sick, but I was like, I don't feel sick, right? And then it dawned on me at some point that, it was this morning. A parent was talking to me they were doing the morning duty. And as I was talking to her, it hit me. And I was like, like my voice sounds terrible. And like I'm sick, but I'm not sick. And I was like, I know what it is. I'm not used. I'm telling you, when you project your voice, when you go like months without doing it, and like over the summer, and then you do it like that first week or whatever, it's like a shock to the body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, your throat's
normal
not used to
for a
all
while.
that.
Yeah,
your throat's not used to, like I'm not near that level, but like today I had like 5 different appointments with students, and so like it was just all like for 5 hours today. I was just
talking. Yeah.
What do you have? And it's like, so I was like, I gotta moisturize.
I don't think people understand. It's not just the talking. It's the, like me and you could do this. It's one thing for me and you to do this. Another thing for me to project my voice to 30 some people or whatever, Like if you work in an auditorium, if you're a professor with no little mic or something, But digressing as we always do, let's jump real quick into the holidays. I'm just gonna say it. I'll put it in there.
There's
holidays. I like to have the noise just so it gives me a placeholder. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where it is. Where the heck is it? I swear I passed it.
He's freaking out, man. He's freaking out.
Oh my gosh. Now I'll just really I don't know where it is. I'm not seeing it on the thing. So I'll put this one in there to remind me, right?
Well done, Mr. Hunt. I'm deeply impressed and grateful.
Maybe now you'll agree. Drinking has its benefits.
You saved my life.
Maybe now you'll agree. Drinking has its benefits.
You just said that.
Now, if you don't mind, it's time for the liquor to take effect.
Yes, and then he's like, he says it again. He's like, you already said that.
Like now, people should see your eyes light
up. Almost Heroes is an amazing movie. We say it all the time.
But one of those underrated. Well, definitely for people like us, right? First off, today on August 21st is National Spumoni Day. right? Did you see Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
I think Spumoni was the safe word with the bear, if I'm not mistaken. But National Spumoni Day is celebrated on August 21st. It celebrates a delicious frozen treat which hails from southern Italy. Hashtag National Spumoni Day. And for those who don't know, like I didn't know, maybe you didn't.
I didn't either.
Traditionally, it's three molded layers of flavored gelato, create a unique dessert. Creamy creation often includes candied fruits and nuts in 2 layers with a third chocolate layer. So,
What
National
was?
Spumoni Day, huh?
I'm gonna be looking up something while you're talking because like that.
A photo of it.
No, because what was his Spicoli? That's what it was.
Oh,
I
you're talking
know,
about
from
the
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I was like, isn't that? I was like, isn't that this character? I'm like, he got his own holiday for a character. I'm like, oh, but different thing.
Dude, you should look it up while I'm doing the next holiday. I swear Spumoni is the safe word for the bear, though, in Semi-Pro.
I will look it up right now.
And also, and after you do that, I can ask you this question after I read this. This day is National Fantasy Football Draft Day. Get your calendar, spreadsheets, and pray your sleeper pick doesn't get snatched one spot ahead of you, like it always does. National Fantasy Football Draft Day will now forever be celebrated on August 21st. Whether you're drafted in backyards, garages, or the sports bar, millions of leagues around the world can officially celebrate this historic moment, an official holiday by fantasy football players for fantasy football players. Hashtag Fantasy Football Draft Day. By the way, if you're drafted on August 21st, I don't know how much you follow fantasy. You should be waiting until the end, man, so that you don't draft somebody that gets hurt. Did you happen to find the safe word?
I hold on real quick.
People are like, "What is this?" Safe words.
They're like, what kind of dirty? They're
Yeah.
like, this is not Choey and Jandler after dark.
Yeah.
It says, assuming you mean what? Dude, my throat. It said yes, but it was Spumone, but I don't know if it's Spumone.
Oh.
It's Spamone. And it says, assuming you mean, when I looked up
that's Spumoni, it just means something different.
Well, that's why I was like looking up. I was like, what does that mean? It said, assuming you mean Spumone, the singular form of Spumoni, which is so I guess Spumoni is like ice creams, and then a single serving would be Spumone. So it might very well be.
We learn something every time, even if it's nothing useful. You know.
I know. I kind of want to be like, oh.
I forget, but that just reminds me. Clicks my brain. One of my teachers, there was something. It was some kind of trivia thing. She's like, "How do you not know that?" She's like, "You know all sorts of useless information." And I was like, "Hey."
I just don't know this one part.
Yeah. Like, whoa. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, by the way, there's the holiday stuff. All right, let's move quickly to the headlines.
It's time for this week's edition of Choey and Jandler's headlines. Yay! Hooray!
All right, I only wrote down 2 headlines because I think one of them could lend itself to like some long chatter and watch it not, and then I'll be like, oh. First off, dude, obviously school just started, right? And you know, like, and I think you and I, we've talked about this before, how, and I keep saying it all the time with teachers. We compare school to sports, and we're like, hey, it's a new season, you know, new school year. And so I think, like, you know, the summertime is kind of like, you know, you're off season, and then you get to that point where you're doing training, like PDs. It's like training camp and really OTAs. If you think about it, like you don't always have to do it unless you want to deal with it later.
Yeah.
We don't really get a preseason, but anyway, during that like last week before school started, they were we got new portables, so I guess they were installing like wiring, and the fire marshal was there and stuff. So they decided to start testing the fire alarms, right? They didn't let anybody know, right? But these fire alarms are going off. This is why I think it's kind of funny. These fire alarms are going off, and us adults are just like, nobody exited the building. You know what I mean? Like, nobody said, hey, there's going to be testing going on. Ignore the alarms. But the alarms go off, and all of us are like, are we supposed to evacuate? And we're like, I'm just saying, man. Good thing it was.
Shows your dedication, man. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
Neither hail nor sleet nor fire will stop a
Yeah.
teacher from
And so I
setting up
got
their room.
gotta remember that. You're setting up your room and your lesson plans. I gotta remember that one because we were just like, nah, I don't want to go. And then when it kept like, it would stop and then it'd go off again. We are like, oh, okay, I figured out what it was. But I'm just saying they should have let us know. And
Yeah,
speaking of, I'm
like
sorry, keep going, man. I
well,
cut
no, I was
you
gonna
off.
say yeah, because it's like it pops off and you're just like, what's going on? Is it real now? Is this the real one? Is this the real?
I just remembered something else, and I was talking to White Gandalf about it last weekend. One of the little PD presentations we had to do was from the district guy talking about like all the security alert stuff, right?
Mhm.
And we got Raptor. Did you have like the Raptor alert, like the app?
Yeah.
So as he's talking to us, I guess one of the other schools in the district, they started or their marshal on campus decided to start doing some practice drills. And so he's talking to us and his phone just keeps going off and off, right? But he kind of like he didn't really like run over there. He's just like, oh, and he finishes his thought and go look
Yeah.
at it, and then he'd be like, oh, that's just a drill. And so I was telling Mike Gandalf, and then
What? He just said so. So what is? It was a drill. We're good. It's like, what if it wasn't?
don't worry about it. Nothing major. But I was telling Mike Gandalf, remember this story you told us? And maybe you can regale us again about the one your son told you when he had that. Was it that sub? Or was it that teacher?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? When
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane.
when they were doing the training, yeah, because they were doing. So we went from Raptor we went to like a different system, but it's the same setup. So like anybody can initiate the thing, and if you're in like the geo code area, like it whatever. But then we had being a principals, we had like an extra level. So it's like even if we're off campus and outside of the geo fence, we got notified like, well, this is what's going on. So we're at a PD thing up in Austin. Like I can't do anything if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And we're like in the middle, like they're like, all right, guys, we're gonna do a breakout session. Everybody break out and do their thing. And all of a sudden, like the three principals, me and the other two that were there, and we're like spread across this big, huge banquet room. And all of a sudden, it's like, and it's just going off, and everybody's all, and they're looking at us, and I'm like, oh, I look, and they're like, oh, it's at the high school, and I'm like, crap, that's my campus. So I'm going to try and call. Nobody's answering. And it turns out it's a false alarm, and they're trying to figure out how to shut it off, but nobody knows it's a false alarm. And my kid's in the elementary at the time, in third grade, and his teacher, who I guess had done one tour in the army, just goes into like full on panic G.I. Jane mode, flips the table, barricades it to the door. Chromebooks fly. Apparently, like 3 Chromebooks broke. She's barricaded the door. She put like get some chairs up on it. Kids are because she doesn't tell anybody. So my kid tells me like nobody knows what's on. They just hear the phone go, and then she flips it, and she turns. She's like, "See this?" And she shows them the screen. She's like, "This means there's a school shooter at the high school." And I was like, when I found this out like that night, and so I tell the principal for the elementary, who's like obviously my colleague. I said, "Hey, now granted she's prepped." And like so because I don't know about this, and I went and told her. I said, hey, so I heard it. She was like, no, I already got told. 5 parents have already complained. And I was like, well, at least she's ready. She's like, yeah, I guess there's that. She's like, but maybe she doesn't go full on like attack.
Yeah, I'm even now like I'm laughing. When I was telling like Gandalf about it, I forgot that I had lived that part where she showed. I remember you saying she showed the screen, but I had ad-libbed the part like, "I hope you say goodbye to your loved ones." Like, you don't know what's going on today.
The youngest one told me, like at first he tells us the story, and I was like, "How were you scared?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, we tested him again later, and he's like, I cried a little bit, and we're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, because I knew his older brother was at the high school, so he thought he was gonna die." And I'm like, "What is wrong with this teacher?" Like, first off, the threat's not on your campus. Second, you can't just give it 2 seconds to say what's going on. Message somebody, hey, is this for real?
I still remember the first time. Actually, every time I talk about the story, I'm always like, did she take out lipstick and draw like eyeliner, like war paint on her face?
she's like full like girl Rambo. Who to win at school, you got to become a war.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
Oh.
Are you quoting Rambo right now?
But yeah, so like I said, that's two. opposite sides of reactions, right? Obviously different drills, but fire alarm goes off. We're like, you know, accidental. Like, I mean, I get you thinking it's real. I mean, I could understand, like thinking like, oh crap, this is fake. But like, yeah, that's a bit scared him. And then moving on to my next headline, right? Which this is the one where I wouldn't be surprised it goes a couple minutes. We just had Meet the Parent night, right?
Yeah.
Dude, first off, great turnout, but I was so exhausted. It's like all the parents, or not all the parents, but I swear like half the parents came in like at once. And I was going around, like I had to have them sign in. I had a paper to sign in. I had another paper to check transportation. And I'd walk in and be like, hey, can you sign this? And I'll be right back. I got to like move around the room. I was like, and I kept apologizing. Every parent was awesome. But I was just like, dude, it was just I'm swamped, man.
It always seems funny because like when you get like a mob like that, you always get like the one parent that comes over and wants to ask you 15 questions that only pertain to their kid, and you're like,
yeah,
there's other people here, man. I gotta. Can you give me 2 seconds?
And it was cool, but then I had ex-students that wanted to come in and they wanted to say hi, and which is like I said is awesome. But it's like I got so many parents that I'm dealing with, and then I want to have a little conversation with them. It's just like I said, it was when the day got over, because that was Monday. We worked the next day, but like we got to work in our classroom and stuff. My feet were just so like you've been on your feet too long. My feet were hurting. So I was just like, man, I just want to sit down and get off my feet. But second thing I was thinking about, remember we talked before about supplies? Tell you what, as of right now, I don't think I got to worry about glue sticks, man. I got like 3-gallon bags full of glue sticks.
You jinxed it, man.
I know.
Some kid's gonna go crazy and just like think it's like a snack and like eat 5 of them, and then like and use an entire stick to glue like a Post-it note on a poster board. And you're gonna be like, what the?
Speaking of, it's funny you mentioned that. One of my teachers I work with is like a year younger than us, and I forget how the conversation how it came up, right? But I was telling him, I was like, I like using the glue glue sticks better than glue. It's less mess. It's not as powerful, but dude, I think I've told you before that, especially with second graders, they just squeeze almost as much glue as they can before they even spread it. And then when they spread it, there's glue everywhere. But I was telling them about how messy it is, and then I was like, hey, don't you remember paste? And he like looked at me and like, I didn't eat paste. But you remember people that ate paste when we went to school?
Yeah, but he didn't know what that was.
He like for a minute he did it, and then I was like, oh, that's right, I'm older than you. He's like, only by like a year. And he's from the valley. Maybe they didn't have paste in the valley. I don't know. But I was just like, paste was like there. It was like very sticky, thick glue, and people there had chunks in it. It was just like kids would just eat it for some reason.
Did you ever get the one like every once in a while you would have it more of the time more in art than anything else? There was like the one with like the twist off lid that had like the stick.
That's the rubber cement, and that's what he was talking about. He said rubber cement, and that reminded the rubber cement. I don't think we could get away with that now because that'd get you high.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Much like Sharpies don't have the same kick anymore down either. Huh?
They've mellowed everything out, man.
I know. I'm like these.
You're like, what the heck? Well, we got
I can't talk about that though. That's my Chappin stuff.
Oh, sorry. You know what Mr. Sketches are though, right? Those Mr. Sketch markers.
Oh yeah.
They're scented markers. I like using them because they work better for anchor charts on paper than like other markers. And obviously they smell good. But then if I let kids use it to like we were signing our class contract yesterday, then everyone's like, "Oh, it smells good." And like they're that Molly Shannon, what was it? Superstar character.
Superstar. She has her armpits. And she's like,
yeah. So yeah, man. It's crazy. I got tons of supplies and stuff, but anything you want to. I know we're stocked up now. Hope it lasts, and then we'll see, man. Like you said, knock on wood.
But you don't have like a sniffles outbreak and you burn through all those Kleenex.
We got a ton of Kleenex too right now. I mean, I do gotta. Today we started writing names on journals. Only 2 kids didn't have any journals. So that's nice, man. That's for people out there. I don't know. Like for me, that's That's pretty good. Normally it's about like 5 or 6 that don't have journals, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because then I gotta go find you journals.
You're like,
So-
guess you ain't gonna be learning in school today.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Wait. They're like, wait, what?
Anything you want to add before we go to the break?
Mm-mm.
All right, so we are rolling on the break. Swear to there it is. Swear to.
Ready to drink around the world? Only if I don't have to pay. Cheers around the world. Prost, Germany, Skål, Norway, Sweden too. Kip is Finland. Cheers. UK, Ireland, USA. Cheers. Mate, Australia too. Cheers. Jehoser, Canada. Salud, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia too. Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Uruguay, Venezuela. Saúde, Portugal. Saúde, Brazil. Salut, Italy. Ege Segedre, Hungary. Nastrovie, Poland. Živeli, Serbia. Norok, Romania. Svejkaton, Lithuania. Rijeka, Latvia. Na zdrowie, Russia. Budmo, Ukraine. Nastar, Belarus. Gazuar, Albania. Na zdravie, Macedonia. Yumsing, Singapore. Yumsing, Hong Kong. Kanpai, Japan. Kanpeh, Taiwan. Gyeongbei, South Korea. Chon, Thailand. Yo, Vietnam. Sorak, Malaysia. Tagay, Philippines. Cheers. India. Joy Hok, Bangladesh. Sehat. Pakistan. Seha. Iraq. Besalamati, Iran. Visichtak, Jordan. L'chaim, Israel. Yaish, Bahrain. Visichtak, Lebanon. Visichtak, Saudi Arabia. Visichtak, United Arab Emirates. Bersulang, Indonesia. Besaha, Morocco. Beseha, Algeria. Saha, Tunisia. Visichtak, Egypt. Aquaba, Ghana. Afia, Kenya. Ukiwawa. South Africa. Botedor, Congo. Mbolo, Gabon. Cheers. Ethiopia. Cheers. Nigeria. Kaumarjos, Georgia. Saul, Azerbaijan. Na zdrowie, Kazakhstan. Softballing. Uzbekistan. Cheers. Barbados. Salud. Dominican Republic. Salud. Guatemala, a la Votre, New Caledonia. Choey says, another round. Jandler says, we're not done. Cheers. Around the world. 75 countries. Counting.
Hi there. I'm here to help Choey and Jandler to read an advertisement for BuyBlacket.com. Please shop BuyBlacket.com. Are you looking for unique gifts at unbeatable prices? Then look no further. BuyBlacket.com has quality merchandise for everyone on your list, from gifts for cat and dog lovers to American fans, beer enthusiasts, and even Jesus lovers. As for teachers, we didn't forget about you. Please don't miss our funny attire to brighten up your classroom. So bring a smile to your loved ones' faces and shop BuyBlacket.com today. Tell them Choey and Jandler sent you.
Hi there, Ryan Reynolds here on behalf of my friends Choey and Jandler. You may know me from movies where I either save the world or ruin Thanksgiving. But today, folks, I'm not here to sell you cologne, crypto, or questionable NFTs. I'm actually here to tell you about Fish.audio. This isn't really me talking right now. This is my voice, made by Fish.audio, which frankly is terrifying. It sounds exactly like me, and trust me, I've heard my voice in 87 trailers. This is better. Whether you're a podcaster with a potato microphone, a game developer building an army of space dolphins, or just lonely and want a perfect Morgan Freeman to read your grocery list out loud to you, Fish.audio has you covered. Fish.audio is easily one of the best voice generation platforms I have ever used, which is saying something, because I've done voiceover for a toothpaste brand in 4 languages I don't even speak. And speaking of that, Fish.audio is cross-lingual, which means it supports 13 different languages. Their amazing program also allows you to clone voices. Fish.audio make your voice legendary, or at least make my voice say weird things. I legally can't stop you either way.
All right, we are back. The song, the ads, dude. I have it's a story time. I put it as Sesame Street little word of the day. on
I
our
saw
like,
this on the slide. I was like, I'm
yeah, it's
curious
like,
to find out what this is about.
um first off, when I named this, I think you and I know I've discussed it a lot because it crossed my head. We obviously grew up watching our adolescence watching Seinfeld and Friends, right?
Yeah.
So we have so many, what do we call it, like references, right?
Mhm.
And what Seinfeld, I think both of them were good about making things up like this, right? Just, you'd make up, like you said, like the G.I. Jane. That's a trigger for us. So this is called Miss Melancholy, right? So I think it was about a week ago, I got a call to schedule a doctor's appointment for the VA. Now it turns out they really didn't need to call me because they scheduled some appointment to look at my medical records. Didn't even need me. So it's like, with the reason I called her Miss Melancholy, they left a message. I called back. When I answered, this lady was just like, "Hello, good day." Like, she talked so boring, but she was like, I said something and she's like, "That's awesome." Like, it was just so, her demeanor was just, it was putting me to sleep, dude. And then she told me that she's like, apparently it's my fault. I didn't need to call you. They're just gonna be doing this appointment to look at your medical records. And I said under my breath, I was like, well, that's kind of bullshit. Oops, I'll bleep that out. But I was just like, why you even tell? Like, I want to be like, why are they even having this thing without me there? I was like, because I feel like I should be there, to have some kind of say in this or whatever. And she's like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. And I'm just like, I'm not blaming you. I just thought it was, like I said, the whole time, I've never, you've met some people that aren't enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody that like everything they say. Like, it reminded me, dude, I've been wanting to find this. There was a Saturday Night Live sketch, I think we were still in high school, where Bob Newhart was on, right? And he was like this melancholy sports announcer.
Oh, yeah.
And they showed, they kept showing all these like highlights in history of sports, and he'd be making the call, right? And like, there was one, that you seen the highlight where Hank Aaron hits the home run that breaks Babe Ruth's record?
Yeah.
And he's rounding the bases, and that guy jumps over the stands and runs all around the bases with him. And like the sketch, he's like, and the pitch, wind up, and there it goes. Home run. Record. Like, he's just talking like this. He's like, that's the record. He broke it. Congratulations. Woohoo. I just felt like that's who she was, man. I was just
I laughed because when you first said it, you said she was like, I don't know why we call, like, I guess we didn't have to call you. They just need to look at your rec, and then you stopped. Like, for some reason, they can look at your rectum. I was like, I think they need to tell you before they do that.
Oh yeah, they need my permission,
They're like, we didn't want to tell you, so you're aware, and you kind of clench. You're gonna sneak attack him.
I just show up, and they're like I thought I was there to, like, I don't know, get my tonsils looked at, and they're like, take your pants off, bend over. You're like, what?
You're like, I don't think this is what I wanted to sign up for, sir.
And then after that, they're like, oh, your name's not, Daniel Johnson.
You're like, oh, you were just here for your elbow?
Yeah.
We're sorry about that.
All right, dude. Let's roll on to the most highly anticipated segment of us.
Dude, so it's just perfect, but because even more crap happened today. Like, I'm so tired of our society being like this participation trophy kind of like level crap. Like, because I don't know if you know, like, so, and not knocking your stuff because I know it's like a big school you push for, but your Go Blue, Go Michigan Wolverines.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that? Did you see that article?
Not in a while.
So,
is this with the AD?
No, they're gonna go for academics. They're going to shift over to just a pass, like a pass, no credit. So to help with like all the rise in levels of mental health concerns. So you either get their freshman classes, you either pass the class, or you just get no credit. So you're not going to fail it. You're not going to get a grade to show like how well you did. It's just either you got credit for it or you just didn't get credit.
If you get no credit, are you ineligible for sports?
No, so it's just to make sure that it doesn't mess with your GPA because you don't want to mess up your GPA.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, what? Like, but that's the thing that sucks, man. Is like there's just so, and I tell the people I work with because I mean, disclaimer, everybody, I've always worked in special ed stuff one way or another. So I dealt with disabilities. I work in a disability office at a university now. I'm not unsympathetic to people's plights. However, there gets to be a point when it's like there is anxiety, and I recognize people have anxiety, but there's debilitating anxiety where like you freak out about so much you can't do anything, and you're almost a shut-in like hermit because you can't do anything without freaking out and overanalyzing 15,000 freaking ways, and it's debilitating. I've talked to students like that. And then you have the people that come in there like, and I'm like, what's going on? They're like, well, I have anxiety. And it's like, okay, how does it affect you? Well, when I have tests, I worry. And I'm like, well, yeah, like I would hope that you would sit there and be like, I'm a little worried whether or not I did good or not, where I think I got the grade. It's like, we're just too much of like our society is just, you're not supposed to be happy all 24/7. You know what I mean? Like it's not, from the moment you wake up, it's not glee, and it's not the beginning of like any Disney movie you want to pick where like everybody's like, hey, look at us, we're happy and we're in the movie. Like I think at some point you're gonna have something.
I think it's that. I also think because of ex-military dealing with VA stuff, there's always people looking for that easy way out. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing.
They're like, what can I claim? What can I claim and get away with? You know, what can I get an easy, like I said, a free ride on? So,
but we're giving into that, and that's the problem that I'm having is because we're getting to a point, but it's already there. It's already there depending upon where you're at. Where people like you, people like me, who are willing to hold themselves accountable, end up being held accountable for other people as well, because other people don't want to be held accountable. And we're like, well, at the end of the day, we got to make sure the system moves forward. Let's throw the weight on the people that want to deal with it and want to be successful and want to achieve. And everybody else is for the ride. And people are like, oh, we're not a communism. Kind of, sort of. Because essentially we got these people that are like, I just freak out, or I can't do it because I can't do that because, and it's like, no.
I remember I was still living in Illinois. I think I was in school, but I was getting ready to finish. And it was something about like reading, you know, thankfully in our society, people are living a lot longer, like average age is increased. And so then people retiring earlier, they're living longer, so they're getting all this retirement for a lot more years than used to. And when I was in Illinois, it's like their system was a little bit different in terms of pay. It may have changed by now, but like, dude, there were people that they weren't even admin, they could be making like 90 grand. And you're having to pay, and you're paying, or they're getting paid, like I said, in retirement. And it's like, as they're doing all that, it was making it hard for the state to have money for the new and up and coming teachers, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, and even though my brain obviously understands math, some math is more challenging for me than others, but I understand math. Like, and I'm like, I understand if you don't have money, that's a huge issue. But I'm like, well, they're gonna have to figure it out because you're always gonna need teachers, and it's like you can't. As much as people get into education because they love kids, they love helping and coaching, all that stuff, no one's doing it for free. Now, we're not doing this job to get rich, but no one's doing it for free. And so it's like you're gonna have to figure that out. I can say that all I want. You're gonna have to figure it out because people aren't just gonna keep busting their butt for nothing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's why I think that they have a teacher shortage, because it's not that they don't have enough people willing to go do it. It's just when you get into it and you realize it's not Mr. Bing showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning when Junior is getting dropped off, taking Junior into class, teaching Junior math and reading and social studies, let him go to lunch and recess, finishing up and going home at the same time. being showing up 40 plus at work when your kid's there, plus an extra 10 to 15 on average during the week, either at home, at some sort of hybrid of at home, after school, whatever. And on top of that, at the end of the year, we're like, well, hey man, you didn't get 100% of your kids where exactly where they're supposed to be. And it's like, well, because you pulled me 15,000 freaking ways too.
Sweet. By the way, thanks for that. I will tell you, you are selling me a little short because I'm there earlier and later. But yeah, there's a lot of teachers that put a lot of extra into it. We're getting ready to wrap it. I'm trying to think of the specific example today. I was just talking to a teacher after school about something, and I can't remember what it was, but it led to the conversation about the extra duties that we have as teachers that people don't realize. We're not just teachers, right? We're counselors, we're security, we're like nurses and stuff, right? Dude, speaking of this, hey, give me the herd alert sound real quick.
Herd alert.
So we're at recess. This will be the last one, then we'll stop it. Or we'll do the socials and stuff. We're at recess. I have a girl come up to me. She's like, Mr. Bing, so-and-so got it. She didn't call it a sticky, right? Being like, it was like a sticker, like a thumb. She called it something else. But it basically, this girl had got something in her foot. Dude, it was only this big, which is, I don't know, what is that? Like centimeter, maybe? Something like that. It's in her foot. And I'm like, but after I tell you this story, I bet you're just going to laugh at how stupid I was, right? Because I was about to send her to the nurse, right? And I took over to another teacher, and they just pulled it out like easily. Right? It was something I knew I could easily do it. But here's the thing, dude. I got written up in my last school for that.
Yeah.
Because it could have stopped the bleed. And I'm like, so I told, because there were 3 teachers around me when I was talking to them, and one of them pulled it out, and they looked at me, and I'm like, I got in trouble for that. I'm not going to do that stupid stuff again. I was like, I know that sounds lame. But when you get yelled at for doing things like that, and because people want to get in trouble, or people want to get you in trouble because they don't like you or whatever, like, I'm going to go out of my way to, I wasn't hurting the girl, but I was like, I'm not going to risk myself. So it was just.
So I'm going to kind of unveil stuff before than I really thought I would do. So I decided, since I'm going to have more free time at work now, that I've decided to relegate myself to kind of just stay in where I'm at for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to write a book. And my book is going to kind of be the mesh between the connection of basically the service industry and the service industry. Everything's a service industry to an extent. But what they actually finished writing the first chapter, like the rough draft of the first chapter today. And the what you said is kind of part of the thing is like the issue with leaders is that we get sometimes so wrapped up in the manual and the book, that we forget that it's also people there too, and you lose rational thought sometimes because you're like, the book says, and it's like, yeah, the book says, but it's also one of those things like it's a sticker. I bet you she called it a spina, didn't she?
No, it's like no, it was something else.
But that's the thing,
like
is like
she called it like a plucker or something. I was just like, what?
But
I knew what she was talking about.
You lose because too many people overreact, too many people sue people for this, that, other junk. So people too much to try to sit with the book and the steps.
Yeah.
And sometimes you lose that human element. Sometimes you just have to be like, well, let's use some rational thought. It's a freaking sticker, and we pop it out. As long as she's not allergic to it, it's not gonna itch. It's not gonna be done in about a minute. She's over it. She's finished. But instead, it's like one of those, like, depending upon where you're at, why would you do that? What happened if? And it's like, well, did it happen though? Did it happen? No, we're worried about what if.
I think it also that kind of just boils down to if you're liked or not liked. And I wasn't liked because I wasn't a brown nosed person. That's just what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I wasn't good at my job. It was just that, you're like, it's like she would say I wasn't a team player when I'm like, dude, I did everything for my team. But you're saying I'm not a team player because I don't blindly follow you or whatever. But dude, that's the first time that I can remember. Towards the end of a segment, we got a little serious, and I was just like, "What?"
Oh,
so
we're growing.
Before Before the social media plug, I think we need to play this.
Well done, Mr. Hunt. I'm deeply impressed and grateful.
Maybe now you'll agree. Drinking has its benefits.
You saved my life.
Maybe now you'll agree. Drinking has its benefits.
You just said that.
Now, if you don't mind, it's time for the liquor to take effect.
R.I.P. Matthew Perry and Chris Farley.
I know, R.I.P. indeed. I like how you said you lent that DVD to some younger folks, and they enjoyed it thoroughly, right?
They did. They loved it. They thought it was funny. Well, because it was because it wasn't really put out too well. Like it didn't get well in the theaters, and so kind of fell off. But then I don't know, man. Like it was on TV for a long time. Every time it'd be on TV, I would watch it too.
Well, I think it's a lot of those movies that didn't do well at the box office. I think around those 90s or whatever, they kind of be on TBS or TNT, like like every week.
Yeah.
And so you're just hitting it or whatever. But all right, do you want to do the socials real quick?
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are on X and TikTok is at Choey and Jan, at CHOEY, the letter N, JAN. We're on Threads and Instagram at Choey and Jan 2. That's at Choey and Jan TOO. We are on Facebook as Jandler Bing, and we're on YouTube at Jandler Bing 969.
Like the radio co-host that you are. Dude, I'm gonna reach out to Hooks and see if she can pop in next week so we can play another round of where on earth is Simon Candiego drinking. That's my goal anyway.
That guy. Is it a guy or girl?
It's a girl. It's a she.
Is it a girl?
Yeah.
Or is she getting wasted?
Hey,
crazy old.
Before I do the end, remember I can't remember I did it last episode, but remember I was telling you about that pod SEO thing that was about our our keyword search and everything. So just so you know, and I was trying to tell you, I saw how many plays we've had. We've had 4,359 all-time plays and downloads for our podcast. So I think we'll be at that 5. We're going to be at that 5K, 5G at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's over 1,000 downloads a season. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm. I would love. I mean, we'd love to have 1,000 listeners a season, but gotta start somewhere. All right, dude, pulling the plug, sir.
Yeah.